Hola, buenos dias, it's Kaipacha with the weekly Pele report. That's the trail that I came down. Doesn't look very much like a trail now, does it? But it is. Anyway, you know, this beginning part, I usually I start out giving the aspects that are going on. But there are so many aspects going on this week that I could spend 20 minutes going over all the aspects, and I know that there's a bunch of people that don't even like the first part where I go into the aspects. So I'm gonna leave that chart up at the top, you know, and you can refer back to that chart if you really want to get down to more of these aspects. I mean, I'll give some of the major ones, but I'm not going to go through the quincunxes and yods and all that stuff that's going on right now. Check out this tree, though. That is a gorgeous, beautiful tree. That's the river back there. Do you see the river? Haven't been down here in a little while, so this will be nice. Now, the big things that I want to talk about in the report today is happening today. Mercury opposite Uranus. Mercury in Scorpio, Uranus in Taurus. Okay, and that's not an easy combination. And in addition to that, by Friday, Mars comes into an exact square with Pluto. And the big thing probably is, you know, this is a very intense weekend. A very intense time. This retrograde Mars is going through, and it's not only, you know, that, but the moon is in Gemini now, which is, you know, Gemini is pretty easygoing, you know, lets a lot of water run off its back like a duck, but it's going into Cancer. And it's going to square the sun. So we're going to have that third quarter square on Friday. And she's going to oppose Jupiter, okay? And then the sun squares Jupiter on Sunday and opposes Mars next Tuesday. So you can kind of see it's what they call a grand cross. Jupiter in Capricorn, opposite the moon in Cancer, squaring the sun in Libra, which is opposite Mars over there in Aries. A grand cross. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. It's happening in the cardinal signs, okay? And all we can say is thank Goddess that Venus is in trine to Uranus through this whole thing. And we can say that things you know, may lighten up a little bit when the moon moves into Leo, okay, late Saturday, but still, you know, even then, yeah, well, I'll talk about it later. Last but not least, before we have the next Pele report next Wednesday, Mercury is going to be going retrograde. Its stations, you know, they're in Scorpio, and, you know, it goes retrograde 3 times a year for about 3 weeks, and, you know, just in time for the United States elections, it decides to go retrograde, you know, for the 3 weeks building up to the elections, which is all about miscommunication and, you know, problems with email and mail-in ballots and debates and, oh, I mean, it's a cosmic setup, man. We are just like really getting raked over the coals. But yeah, we got some water here. It's the rainy season. Look at that. That thing is a trickle, but not today. All right, let me find a spot and look at you. Okay, here we go. I mean, this is just gonna have to do it, man. I went up and down the river. It's too loud. It's dramatic, but it's too loud. I love the waterfalls. This creek, this is just a little creek, runs in front of my house. It could be a little too loud, I don't know. Anyway, some people say the falls are too loud. Some people like me in the backyard. It's more peaceful, and I like to get out in nature and show the river and everything like that. And if it's one thing that 2020 has taught me, I got this from my friend Christina last weekend out on the Caribbean. She's a cacao farmer that lives up by herself, and one of her favorite sayings is that What you think of me is none of my business. Oh man, I'm trying to like drill that one into my head. What you think of me is none of my business. That's a very liberating thought, but it does have to do with what I want to talk to you about today, because we have the Grand Cross. Aries, first house, self. Libra, 7th house, other, relationship, partnership, opposition, Sun opposite Mars. And then up here in Capricorn, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, duty, business, responsibility to the whole, to other people, to the world, to your family. We are not living in a vacuum. We are not the only ones. That's why it is square to Aries and self. My independent, impulsive, spontaneous, I mean my, gets squared, blocked by my job, by my boss, by my parents, by the police, by, God. So we got laws, okay, man-made or universal. There are freaking laws, and sometimes our impulsive, spontaneous self gets blocked by that. And then down here, Cancer, Moon, where, we have Moon opposite Jupiter, Moon square Sun, Moon square Mars, and the gang of three over here. It's also Lilith and Eris, right? So this, this square is family and my past and my need for roots and security and emotional bonding. Aries, fire, dynamic independence, is not so concerned with, emotional bonding. Wants to take off, right? But the Moon wants to snuggle and cuddle and be held and be safe and sound and emotionally connect with other people. And so, and it's my past and my inner child, my inner feelings. And our childhood conditioning and our patterning are at odds and are at square, okay, with our partners who want to pull us away from the family and out of the house, right, and the family kind of takes us out of our own impulsive stuff. So we got this big dynamic going on. And right now, this Mars, this is the second pass. Mars came up and squared, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, now retrograde, back over Saturn, now Pluto, coming around to Jupiter. And it's going to go direct November 14th, come back again in time for Christmas, for the third pass. So this is just like kind of bam, bam, bam. And to me, 2020 just feels like we're bringing our lives into the shop like a car that needs a tune-up. We bring our life into 2020. Our identities, our relationships, our goals, our ambitions, and we want to get a tune-up. So here comes 2020. The mechanic looks at our lives, our goals, our relationships, and our jobs and says, oh, you're a little off track, you're distracted, this could be better, this is the real you. But you know what? It's like you thought you wanted a tune-up, but the mechanic tells you you need a new transmission and you need a new engine, and basically your life is all messed up. You're like way off track, dude. You are not the real you. So, all this, call it karma, call it consequences, call it maturity and growth, one way or the other. This is a year of transformation through death and resurrection, like I've been saying. And I think what we're coming to, and this is just my own take, of course it's my own channel, so, you can always go somewhere else, but let's look at the big picture. The big picture is that 6,500 years ago, we lived in the Matriarchy. Feminine energy was alive, powerful, honored, respected, heard. That feminine energy is about union, unity consciousness. Maybe it's a little dreamy or a little chaotic, a little unclear, a little messy, whatever. But, this is, and we lived in our past lives. We all lived through the Matriarchy. And that Matriarchy, we felt connected, but like I say, we were a little more in a dream state. And so the evolution of our planet, the evolution of humanity, the evolution of species said, let's swing a little bit over to the masculine side. Let's bring in the patriarchy. And that masculine side wants, light, clarity, name things, right? God told Adam to name all the animals or whatever, something like that, right? We swung over into this process of individuation. We broke out of the dream and we're all one and we're all connected and there's no wars and fighting in order to develop our own unique, individualized expression of source. So we swung way over to where many developed countries are right now. I, me, my. Okay? My freedom, my free speech, my rights, my life, my money, my job, I, me, my, 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 me, my. Yeah. And we've got companies and constitutions and, safeguards and regulations. Oh, yes, it's so important. Okay, so, and to me what this is like, it's the peak. We swung from chaos and no identity to I can't tell my mother from my brother from my lover. Swung over into, okay, this is my particular ego, my gift, my genius, my individual self-expression. And now God says, Source, Creator says, that's enough. End of patriarchy. End of all that male, I, me, my, individuated, independent, free, whatever, Time to come back. Bring your individuality. Bring your genius. Bring your creativity back into harmony. In lakesh alakin. I am another you. Let's unite the yin and the yang. Let's bring this back together. Okay? We're not innocent, naive, cosmic mush. And we're not separate egos that are all about self, narcissistic. We are, we're balancing. We're balancing. And so this is a time where we need to consider our truth, our self-expression, our creativity, ourselves. Don't forget yourself. Don't leave yourself out of the equation. But, and that's what the mantra is about today, is that, okay, well, guess what? There's also other hearts and lives to consider. So the idea here is that we need to expand. This is why this beautiful Venus trine Uranus, okay, Uranus over here in Taurus, new resources, new ways of sustaining and surviving in our physical world need to be created. New ways of, really maintaining our livelihoods, our income. These need to be, innovated and invented. This is Uranus. And Venus over there in Virgo is going, yes. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some, energy. But that Sun in Libra, Sun opposite Mars is what? That's the Earth, caught right in the middle. We are caught between, the little guy, the little guy can look over and here's the Sun. Whoa! Or he can turn around, right? And here's Mars. Whoa! Right? We are right in the middle of Mars. I, me, my, I want, I am, I'm going to do. I'm the army, I'm the macho man, I'm the cowboy, whatever, the hero. Or we can turn over to that Sun in Libra. Brilliant. The negotiator, the diplomat, the mediator, the one who listens, cooperates, compromises, and makes win-win situations. So we're caught in the middle, and it's our duty and responsibility to the future generations to grow up. This is Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn up there in Capricorn, saying you've got to come. You've got to take care of the climate. You've got to take care of pollution. You've got to take care of your resources. You've got to take care of your minorities. We've got responsibility. We've got to take care of our elders, our healthcare systems, our educational systems. Our kids need to be properly educated so they don't come out a bunch of idiots. Ow! Right? So yeah. This is, so we're really facing it. And this Mars, this Mars wants to break free, break out. I've had enough. I've been in lockdown for 6 months. This is just like, oh, I'm tired of this. We are like so, and it's just like, life or God is like, we're puppy dogs, and God's holding our nose in our shit, because we shit in the wrong house. and God is like, you see this, smell that, look at it, and don't do that again. You're supposed to go outside. I'm telling you, it's not going to let up till the end of the year. I said that last time. Mars is in Aries. This is the second out of the third pass. So we're still going in. It's still going to get more intense, possibly more violent. We got more storms coming in. We've got a gigafire in California that's burned over 1 million acres. Okay, we've got, the intensity is building. And it's going to continue to build, and Mercury stationing is its time to reflect, rethink, review, retrograde. It's like we need to look at our stuff. And what else is that about? This isn't just about business and politics and money and economy. This is about love and partnership. The Sun moving through Libra and Scorpio, the two relationship signs, is 2 months out of every 12. The Sun shines on partnership and relationship. And so this is a time for counseling, for therapy, for shadow work with another person. And really getting the mirror, getting the reflection. So not only looking at ourselves in the mirror, but also asking for feedback. I know it's a little switcheroo from, what you think of me is none of my business, but the Sun in Libra is kind of like really wanting to have, cooperation. We can do more together than we can do alone. And so it's just, you know, is this relationship right for you? You know, maybe your nose is being held to your relationship. Is this the right person for you? Is this the right relationship? Is this the right business partner? You know, and then it's even Cancer. Is this the right family? Are you living in the right place? And then it's the job. Is this the right job for you? Is this your biggest expression of creativity, you know, in the world that you can be? Yeah. So it's a toss-up, and that's why, of course, I this week's song, I mean, it's none other than the classic, right? The classic, I Want to Break Free by Queen. And if you haven't seen it, the link is down in the notes, you know, and it's really powerful, yeah? So, it's not only powerful, it's pretty funny, man. And last but not least, I want to talk to you about my new website and the workshop that I'm doing starting October 31st, Halloween weekend. It's a deep dive into the first house and the fourth house, discovering my soul's purpose. You know, we got to hold our own. You know, we're getting pulled out by, you know, so many different factors here. The idea is to identify, you know, my soul purpose, and then create the relationships, the jobs, the home, the tribe around my truth. It's discovering my truth, not living somebody else's, my parents, my religions, my societies, my partners. No, coming into my truth. Who am I? It's great. I hope that you can join me. Just go to my website. There's a link for my website down below, and we can spend some time together. I'm actually going to be looking at people's charts as part of the program, you know. We're going to go into our own charts for the people who sign up. It's going to be very cool. So for this week, the mantra is, there is no doubt that I want out and be totally free once again. But the spirit of love wants me to include others' hearts and lives in my plan. You can do this. It's possible. We can do this. It's possible. We can create relationships, families, societies, governments, and institutions where we can be free and connected. We can be liberated and unique and still support each other. This is the age of Aquarius. This is where we are headed as humanity, and this is where we really need to brainstorm. So the Mercury opposite Uranus is beautiful for brainstorming ingenious, creative ways where we can maintain our sovereignty and still love and care for each other. Yes, this we can do. Inch by inch, bit by bit, be gentle with yourself. Don't get guilty or judgmental, or, you know, it's just like little baby steps. We can do this, yeah? One last time, baby. Ow! There is no doubt that I want out and be totally free once again. But the spirit of love wants me to include others' hearts and lives in my plan. Be gentle with each other. Namaste. Aloha. So much love. Well, the darn thing is that it's just so noisy. I can't find a spot talking to the camera without tons of noise. I'm gonna have to find someplace that's farther away from it's like the most dramatic falls are the noisiest falls. Such is life, right? I mean, the best part of life is the noisiest. Oh God! Look at that. That's a good shot right there. Huh.